end of the year, it's still good for you to make changes and make your wishes come true. It is never too late for you to follow your dreams. It is never too late for you to follow your dreams. So remember that as we start the World Speaker Series. It's a place to inspire you to be better and to have intellectual dialogue with the experts from the different fields of AI, finance, technology, geopolitics, and everything you can name, the experts from every field, to help you progress better and for you to network and increase your wealth and make your resolutions, wishes come true. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Speaker Series. We'll begin with our founder, Professor Gloria Rome. She's in Davos, Switzerland. Just like all the leaders from all the countries, they are in Davos, Switzerland. She's going to speak to us live from Davos, Switzerland. Let's welcome Professor Leah Rome.
Thank you very much for coming today. And take out time after your busy schedule on this Thursday night from New York. I'm here. This is United Nations residents in Davos. Take a look here.
Oh, beautiful.
And I want to begin with a thanks to the people who make this possible. First, Iris. Iris put heart and soul to make a World Speaker Series a possibility in New York City. We're very grateful to Iris. Without Iris, nothing will happen here. And also, we're very grateful to Ed Lee. Ed is the most popular financial expert and the leader in New York area and in the country, and travel all the way to the site to co-organize this event together with Iris. And a special thanks also to Joseph and Anne, who worked so hard to put this thing together with the team. And also special thanks to Helen, to Julie and the Jack team, and more names to be mentioned. And Jason worked all the details to make everything possible. For we have this comfortable situation. Of course, to the law firm, JC, who makes so many calls to coordination all details. Thank you very much. Let's focus conversation on Davos. Davos this week will be has been the focus of the world. Davos is a very beautiful place. So I think I say this to Ed. Every year you lead a delegation from.
Okay, we will continue our programming.
By going to different conference, and also we organized our speaker series here. We had interviews with a lot of the CEOs and and the business leaders and entrepreneurs and non-profit organization leaders. And Davos this year is very famous for women leadership. Davos World Women Agenda is very dominant. They brought leaders from many countries, many queens, and prime ministers from different nations to come. So you can see this is a place where they really bring the women leaders to come together or to work on the development and the world peace. I attended many sessions by them. So, it's quite inspiring. But also, when 130 countries come together, not only business leaders, a lot of leaders representing states. And here you have an American House. When you visit this house, you can see how proud to be American. The American House is very well organized. The many good topics. Yesterday, President Trump also gave very influential remarks everybody already heard. So, and also very, very big on AI this year. Here, and a lot of companies from, like Microsoft Vice President, and NVIDIA Jason Huang, and Meta Vice President, we met in person, and a lot of opportunity is really to interact in a small settings, So I think, as you know, the Trump lead the most powerful delegation also to Davos. So also the topics are management, work, CEO give a very good conversation, and also a lot of personal time one-on-one. And also a lot of representatives from wealth management, the family offices, and in not only from Europe, also Canada, US, and so a lot of case studies, a lot of booths. Really, it's a great opportunity to have an in-depth conversation. Another big topic is on longevity. This year, the IMD, the CEO, Michael, he talked about how to lead, lead on extremely uncertainty. 2026 is a year, and everybody needed to feel it's a very important ability you have to learn how to live on the extremely uncertainty. Also, in this longevity talk, also longevity week, talk about the goal, about the strategic imperative of 100-year life. You see, and it's on all kinds of topics, and also this week in Davos, no matter you're on the bus, on the train, and in the lecture hall, everybody just come with a lot of interesting ideas, a lot of new things, and everybody look for partners. So, but of course here, as a representative from Boston International Business School, we think about our MBA curriculum, how make our MBA curriculum in this situation most competitive for our students. So the 5 elements confirmed again and again. So in order to be the future business leaders to able to lead in this situation, 5 elements are reconfirmed. The first one, for business school education, generally in the past, we just have to teach students how to have management skills, But right now, the foundation, in order to have effective leadership, the first thing is you need to become a very good engineer. You need to understand engineering in a very deep sense. You need to understand the AI. You need to understand, other related technology. And this year, interesting. A lot of people last week we were in CES in Las Vegas. A lot of people working at CES also come to Davos to attend this conversation. So the focus to have a full and deep understanding of engineering cannot be more important than ever today. So in order to train the future business leaders, the first thing first, you need to train the business leaders first to be a good engineer. Then will be fully understanding all the core curriculum MBA courses. And then thirdly, is the skill for business investment. You need to be a person understand how to manage in this changing environment, how to manage your resources in terms of funding, your time, a different alternative investment. And for this, I possibly explain a little more because for our faculty, a lot of faculty have possibly the portfolio more than 100 million, 500 million portfolio. Those teachers come from practice. They will share their experience, how they started with almost no money, come to, in 10, 15 years to become a controller and a manager for such a large portfolio in real estate. Another very important factor for our curriculum is how a person in this kind of uncertainty time, how to able to build one person a production system. In the older model is people go to school, look for a job. Today, job market is a big uncertainty. People, not necessarily everybody to start a business, but you need to have your one person skills and a system built. This system not only in technology or human resources, also the system to build to share in the global settings. And finally, very, very important is how in this situation as a business leader to have this corporate responsibility and personal responsibility, have a set value which is very, very grounded about the deep gratitude. So because today's world is a great uncertainty, and a lot of time people have a lot of stress, and without this, shared responsibility and a deep gratitude, and also a good understanding how to be a happy and productive person, things we're not able to do. So in summary, today's business leader and future business leader, you need to have the best engineer, a very good business manager, and also very good investor management, and also very good system builder, and also with sincere and core commitment for social responsibility, and with social value, and with deep gratitude. And these all five combined factors we consider as a five horses system. So, but I think in this Davos conference, we met a lot of the universities and from different parts of the world. Even very established universities now, they are very open to partnership. They are very open to new ways of doing things. For Boston International Business School, and on this trip, we also are able to hire new professor who is the head of the largest investment firm in Europe. But he's the head of the meetings, manager of the fund of the fund. So we are very grateful have the opportunity to come together with Jing Zhang. And after I finish this, and she will have a small video to share what's going on in Davos the last few days. And look forward and for the 2027, and people today, the participants in this room, no matter they are lecturers or people in the audience, to join together, we can come together, 2027 Davos Economic Forum. I think it's a time well spent because you learn so much. You also get a new network, working with the leaders from all over the world. It's going to be a worthwhile effort. So we look forward to January and 2027, Boston International Business work with our partners to bring the leaders from all the world come to Davos. Thank you very much. And thank you for coming. Thank you everybody to make this happen.
Thank you, Gloria, for Davos. For those of you who don't know, the World Speaker Series is a worldwide organization. We have conferences in Spain, Switzerland, New York, Boston, Las Vegas, California, all over the world. And you are welcome to join us. We are very special in that we are not a single team conference. Usually other conferences are either engineering, AI, or finance, only one team. But we have different teams. We hire experts from different walks of life, different fields, to give you the knowledge and expertise. So you can learn the gist of everything in a short evening, and you get to be kept together with the timing and the current affairs of the world. That's vital to you. Knowledge is vital to you. Okay, next up, we have someone who are financially very knowledgeable. He navigated the world of finance like going through Pokemon adventures, and he collects all these trophies, doing all different sorts of financial vehicles. Let's welcome to the stage Ed Lee, who will represent also Boston International Business School.
Thank you, Elvis. Thanks, everyone. Well, first of all, I really feel that we're very connected to Davos now. It's much better than watching on YouTube. I think that's something very special with BIBS. We're really, our co-founder of BIBS, Gloria, has set an example to really change how business school should do its business. So including today's World Speaker Series, I think it's innovative service provided by BIBS really enable all the students, faculties, and friends of BIBS to connect to real life, really trend-changing events, including like Davos, right? In the future, as she has mentioned, we will probably be organizing events associated with key AI events by, for example, NVIDIA's GTC that's happening in March, or the most famous Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting in May in Omaha. So today I'm really a team member of BIBS. I'm here to deliver an opening speech on behalf of Gloria, the co-founder of BIBS. So good evening, distinguished guests, speakers, partners, and friends. On behalf of Gloria Rome, co-founder of BIBS, it's my great honor to welcome you to the inaugural World Speakers Series here in New York City. Tonight is not just the launch of an event, it is the beginning of a conversation that matters. A conversation about how the world is being reshaped at the intersection of artificial intelligence, capital, health, real assets, and global leadership. At BIBS, we believe deeply in one principle. The future does not belong to those who react the fastest. It belongs to those who think clearly and act responsibly and lead with long-term vision. That belief is what brings us together this evening. We live in a time of extraordinary acceleration. AI is no longer experimental, it's foundational. Capital is no longer passive, and it's directional. Real assets are no longer static, they are intelligent systems. Health is no longer just medicine, it is strategy. Leadership is no longer about authority, it's about trust, ethics, and execution. Yet, with the speed comes complexity. With innovation comes responsibilities. And with opportunity comes the obligation to design the future intentionally. The World Speaker Series are created precisely for this reason. To offer no noise, but clarity, no hype, but insight, no theory alone, but actionable wisdom. This is not a traditional conference. There is no parallel tracks pulling your attention in different directions. No superficial sound bites competing for applause. Instead, tonight is designed as a front row seat to the ideas shaping tomorrow. Our speakers come from finance, AI, healthcare, real estate, policy, and global leadership. They bring different disciplines, but they share something essential. A long-term mindset, a system-level perspective, and a commitment to aligning innovation with human progress. As you listen this evening, I invite you to reflect on 3 questions. 1, how does my work create value that lasts, not just returns that fluctuate? How can AI and data amplify my judgment rather than replace it? What responsibility do I have as a leader in shaping markets, communities, and lives? If you leave tonight with better questions, not just better answers, then this gathering has succeeded. In closing, Gloria and the entire BIBS team would like to express sincere gratitude to our speakers for sharing not just their expertise, but conviction, to our partners for believing this vision, and to each of you for choosing to invest your time in ideas that matter. The future is not something we wait for, it's something we design together. Welcome to the World Speaker Series. We're honored to have you here with us, and we look forward to our inspiring event ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. I will now introduce someone who travels Wall Street's ups and downs, like going through the Game of Thrones. He's a wizard that comes out always winning. He's seen it all. He's seen financial bubbles burst. He's seen .com bubble burst. Many financial scandals, but he always comes out winning. That's why he's here speaking for us. Let's welcome to the stage the financial wizard of Wall Street, the guy with almost a century of experience from Wall Street. Let's welcome to the stage Theodore Kalin, our keynote speaker.
I want to thank Elvis for the opportunity to speak, as well as all the organizers of the event. You reminded me, actually, I did make a New Year's resolution. It was no more public speaking. But I forgot. So here we are, 2026. I'd love to use a little about myself. Yes, so my name is Ted. I was born right here in New York City, in Manhattan, at New York Hospital. I attended Princeton University and I got a couple of degrees there. And then I've been doing investment banking my entire adult life. About 15 years at Lehman Brothers and JP Morgan. And then the next 15 at this small firm I co-founded called HRA Capital. And we work in several areas of innovation, raising money, doing M&A advisory services. And I'm going to talk to you about one of the areas that we focus on tonight, which is AI, and specifically agentic AI. So hopefully the slides will keep up, and I think it's a pretty dramatic change we're going to go through. So AI is foundational. Yep. Okay, so I can do it. Yeah. Hands on. Great. Okay, so I've got some control again. That's good. You know, some of us we're not all control freaks, but some of us have a little bit of control. It's good. So will agentic AI change everything? No, it won't. all the time, these big things happen in the world. 9/11, they're like, it changes everything. No, it doesn't. It doesn't change your values. It doesn't change your family. It doesn't change your friends. A lot of things that are very important that it doesn't change. But it will change businesses. It will change them in a fundamental way. So, you know, we've all heard about AI as a tool, and probably most of you use it as a tool. You know, what's the temperature in Davos right now? You can ask ChatGPT to tell you. Probably get it right, maybe not. But agentic AI is something that's really fundamentally different. It'll make observations, it'll form goals, it'll run analyses, it'll test strategies, it'll recommend and execute strategies. So, you know, we live in a world where business information moves faster than any humans can process it, but computers can't, right? So they're starting to run further and further ahead of us. So I want to talk about there's a few things that we're going to cover at a fairly summary level. If you have to ask a question, go ahead, but I'm not really good on my feet, so maybe afterwards it'll be better. So what is agentic AI? How will it affect businesses, and how does that affect how people think about investing? So, yeah, they're our friends the wolves. So who let these wolves out? A bunch of entrepreneurs. So what do we think about wolves? They act independently, they're aggressive, but they operate as a pack. And that is exactly how AI agents will act as well. So, you know, historically, we have, some of you, maybe, probably not most of you, but some of you are old enough like me to know who these things are. So this is a Commodore computer sat on the desktop before Apple IIe, before IBM, right? And then, of course, this is a screenshot from the Matrix, right? Also, but that's kind of where we're headed now. So, it used to be software, you wrote the code. I remember writing those little punch codes and making sure those cards were in order. You didn't want to drop them. You'd be up all night reshuffling them. And it ran the software, did what it was told. AI responds, it answers questions, but AI agents, they don't respond, they act. They act independently, they act as a team. So it's going to, if you were in the finance business, maybe you would say, oh, well, you got an AI agent because they, you know, analyze these bond yields in a foreign country. With the AI agent, you tell it what you want it to do. You give it an objective, and it'll go analyze the bond yield, do the policy risk, and come back with actually recommendations. If you let it, would go ahead and do the trades. So truly acting independently. For example, if you're in the finance business. So can you get there from here? I guess is an important question. So, you know, you've been like maybe if you don't want the computer model, you could like, or maybe someone's getting hungry already. Like, you've been making cupcakes. It's pretty easy to make a cupcake. There's one recipe out there. There used to be something called an easy bake oven that little girls would have, and you can make a cupcake and easily do. Now, if you're going to make a layer cake, that's totally different. You know, it's going to take a lot more skills, and all those layers are going to interact. And that's really like, it's my idea of like maybe agents are a little bit more like a layer cake, acting independently. But can you get there from here? Maybe you can't. You know, think of an old business. Businesses the way they run today is like a gasoline engine, hundreds of moving parts. You know, each part could break down. Your engine's going to break down. And then maybe we're going to go to electric motors, which are much, but you're not going to get from a gasoline engine to an electric motor just by making like incremental improvements. You have to just start from scratch and build an electric motor and compete with the gasoline engine. So I think a lot of this will happen in business too. You know, you're just not, your companies are going to have to be reborn and not reformed. I made that up, by the way. That's the reason. You like that one?
Nice.
You can quote me for a few years and then you just have to figure out. So I do believe that. So these crazy AI agents, they don't have any moving parts and things like that. So what else is going to change? Like, yeah, so we think of businesses like this where this guy's running everything, and he makes the strategic decisions, passes them down, and these people like do everything, and all the information has to flow back up to the CEO, right? And he decides, hey, what's going on here? But think about, and we can call it a company. Think about an agentic. Now you have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of independent agents operating autonomously, independently, in a coordinated way. The last person who might know something is the CEO. These agents, they might conceive of a product, design it, test it, launch it into the market all on their own, without any human ever having to interfere. So again, we see this as truly a rebirth of companies and really entities, and really rethinking what it is to have a company or be a company. Very different organization. So, for investors, the question is, how does this change? So we've always talked about moats in the past, the value from moats, branding or network effects, but with AI agents, they'll have new moats. We think of them as sort of cognitive moats, based upon data or operational history or faster learning systems. Like, if we look at a company, will this company's engine learn faster than the other company's engines? You know, that will probably drive success versus who the CEO is or what their 5-year earnings history is. Intellectual property, whose property is it? Who owns this IP? If these agents create IP, who will even know? Unless some other agent in the patent department files patent. It'll be interesting to know what will they even have or IP. And then, the infrastructure obviously is critical. You know, the physical infrastructure and the technical infrastructure and the data infrastructure is always critical. And then, the time frames are going to be very quick. That could be good. If you're going to succeed, you may succeed faster, but you may also become obsolescent more quickly. So it's going to be very hard to figure out. That's kind of the overview I wanted to share with you. Obviously, I did kind enough to ask no questions till the end, but I'm happy to take any questions you have about how we see the future and in our investment banking work, we obviously want to work with companies, and we work with small companies. We want to work with ones that succeed, and these are the criteria that we're sort of using as we sort through which companies are going to thrive in the long term.
Any questions from anyone? You want to ask about AI or finance? Wall Street? Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing your valuable experience. In recognition of your contribution to tonight's conference and to give you appreciation, we will offer you a certificate of appreciation, and please accept our token appreciation.
Okay. Distinguished Leadership Award, Letter of Appreciation, and letter of appointment. From here.
And letter of appointment.
Okay.
A triple prize for the valuable speaker.
Look here. Yeah, this way, please. Yeah, this way. Thank you. This way. 1, 2, 3. Good. Okay.
You're welcome to hook up with Tate Callum and to learn more about his adventures on Wall Street. Navigating the Game of Thrones of Wall Street. Thank you. Next up, we have someone who is very interesting. He's going to turn your losses into your assets. That sounds interesting? Like I can recover my money lost in casinos. Like I can recover my business expenses and make them into assets. Our next speaker is Jack Liu. He's going to tell us how to utilize the soft losses and turn them into soft assets in healthcare. Let's welcome to the stage Dr. Jack Liu.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have to say it's a great honor and pleasure being here with you all. Talk about something we propose to you, especially to how to manage your soft losses in healthcare settings. And before that, I understand I'm supposed to give myself a little bit of introduction. So, but for the time's sake, I'm not going to read it. So while you're reading it, I'll just say a few words. I'm Jack Liu, and I'm the founder and the Chief Quality Officer at Yanch Medical Consulting and Services. The rest, you can read them all by yourself. So I'm going to talk about the translation of soft losses into soft assets, which supposedly is a new practice we propose in healthcare financial management. The reason I say we propose is because it hasn't been done this way ever before, and specifically with the invisible, non-measurable financial losses. I call them soft losses. And I believe it is with a very unique importance to hear whoever is currently running a hospital or a healthcare organization, or plan to run, or plan to invest into such an organization. You might be very interested in doing this. And so it doesn't matter whichever phases we are in. I believe there's one common goal we share dearly. That is, you want to run a healthcare organization with measurable financial successes. So before we start, let me just give you a picture of the healthcare spendings in the US annually. And you can see those, okay, we got to work on this, but I'm sorry. So just forget about this. This does not work on the monitor. So figures in brown color actually are the spendings in health care within the United States from different years. Oops. Okay, then you noticed those numbers were from CMS. And what's CMS? I believe some of you know, some of you, especially the ones who does not work in healthcare setting, healthcare health sectors in the States. And I will just take this opportunity to say CMS is an abbreviation for Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which is an agency for care delivery, and also is an agency for operating systems in the US within healthcare sectors. And more importantly, it is in charge of translating policies into financial signals within the healthcare setting. In other words, they are very powerful governmental agencies in the entire healthcare sectors within the US. And again, those were the categories used by CMS. Those categories were tell you about 6, 7 different categories where those wasteful spending go. In other words, where the money lost. So again, those brown color figures is a wasteful spending, and according to their category. And you can see those numbers are quite scary, big numbers. And this is just a tabulation of those figures. So in 2019, someone with the name William Schwentz published his great research work. And he put all those wasteful spending together against the total spending in the US in healthcare, and come up with this very easy to understand results. 25% spending is lost to poor management of quality. And this publication becomes an instant hit. It has become the most popularly, widely cited references over 100 times by different authors. And the articles in the black were just a few examples of those citations for different publications. Now, I would like to direct your attention to the brown colors. According to the research, 25% of the spending is lost. Translated into absolute number, this is the number we could save if we managed somehow to eliminate those wasteful spendings. So maybe at a nicer level, as we presented before, it's a little bit hard to digest. So let's just take one single hospital with average size 300 bed in the US, which is a popular size. Okay, then those numbers were actually for 300 bed size hospitals annual spendings, according to their scope of practice. Some hospital practice more, offers more services, so it goes higher on spending. Some less, goes lower. And so let's say we're not so fortunate enough to eliminate those entire 25%. Let's say we do something, we could at least save half of that 25%. That is 0.5%. Still, is from 6 million to 125 million per year per hospital. That's how much money we could save. Then next, I want to review with you together the principles, the major principles we use to run largest healthcare organization, which is called value-driven, patient-centered, evidence-based, and outcome-focused practice. But even though we're doing this, we still somehow lose 25%. So that means the current principles are not enough in terms to help us eliminating those spendings. So that's why I propose at the bottom, quality should be added to the existing principles as a core principle. Why? Because from previous slides, you'll see those loss, those categories, it's just fall right into healthcare quality and safety domain. So I'm going to share 2 cases with you, happened in New York City years ago. And one is clinical, another is non-clinical. But please be advised, those information is for only sole purpose of learning and improving, and shall not be used against any hospital, any organization, in case you know that case, those 2 cases. According to US PSQIA, Patient Safety and Quality Improvement Act from 2005, those things, whatever you grow up, is not working, because in other words, it's protected for the purpose of improving. So case number one is the elevator in the hospital. And because of the financial restraint, whatever reason, is due for maintenance services. But the leadership decided not to go for this time. So soon after that decision was made, one day, a little obese patient somehow managed to stop her leg between the gaps, in the gaps between elevator and the floor due to the misalignment of the floor and elevator. And during the struggle, tried to pull her legs out, elevator started moving and severed her leg. So you can imagine what followed that incident, legally and financially. The second case is a clinical case. It's a patient who suffered severe chest pain, was brought into OR for emergency aortic dissection repair after a CT scan. So after the sternotomy, after opening up the pericardium and exposed the heart, and performing surgeon did visual examination and also used ultrasound to see if there is any hidden aortic dissection, which they found none. So then the chest was closed, the patient was put back to ICU. Then early next morning, patient expired in the bathroom within the ICU. The problem even worse is somehow they didn't report this unexpected death within 24 hours, which is the requirement from the state regulatory agency. So this one case brought two folds of impact, negative impacts to them. And you can imagine what's going to be, how much it's going to cost them, not only monetary wise and the reputation damage and all those following events. So among this great audience here, I believe you have great expertise in finance, and especially on various different healthcare settings. And I believe your understanding of finance in healthcare is way better than mine. But however, because of the differences, so I'm not going to focus on the financial aspect. I'm going to focus on the losses that is invisible, non-measurable, not shown up on your balance sheet, which your CEO and your CFO look at it almost every single day. And so, what are we going to do? Why would this would happen? Because the current system we use does not pick up those things. And those losses, on the other hand, is more qualitative other than quantitative. So it's hard for the system, the financial system in our case, to pick it up. So, in other words, if we do not somehow manage to turn those non-quantifiable, non-measurable indicators results into measurable metrics, then they're going to just skip. We don't even see them. We just keep losing money. So we somehow need to find a way to deal with it. But again, the way we propose is also come from healthcare quality and safety domain, because as I mentioned before, all those losses, all those indicators actually is within healthcare quality and safety domain. So just give you one example how difficult it is for the current financial system within healthcare industry to pick up those things. Let's say reputation damage, how you value it. It does not, you don't see the effect till years later, till things going down little by little. How can you evaluate this reputation damage? So that brings us to, we have to find out a way to somehow make them monetizable. That's the word financial experts know it. So on the slide, that's the reality we're dealing with. We're dealing with all the good things. They're all good, they all work, but somehow we're missing one major part, which is the quality and safety. And at the present time, in the realm of healthcare, the inconvenient truth, I read it here, in financial system is, the system we're using is not designed to capture and focus on those losses. They are focused on the values or items with clear downside next to them. So that's a situation we're facing. And furthermore, the current practice does not really have any effective or active way of dealing with soft losses, the soft losses. Because the way we deal with soft losses, more passive, reactive, not proactive. So we're dealing with losses already incurred, but we're not anticipating to deal with the losses that will happen. So that's the situation we are facing. So now we should ask ourselves a question, can we improve it or change it? So the answer is yes, we can. But before we start our quest to begin change or improve, we need to remind ourselves of one fundamental concept, which is improvement or change can only be done on things that is measurable, or in other words, can be measured. Otherwise, we don't know if we improve it or not, we don't know. You have to measure it somehow. So since we work with non-measurable indicators, then we need to invent a way, like I mentioned before, to make them measurable. So on the slides are a few examples of principles we propose to make such metrics. We call proxy metrics. So for the sake of time, I will not go into technical details on how to make those results measurable with a clear dollar sign. If anyone here is interested, let me know. We can have a further discussion afterwards. So we're proposing translating soft losses into soft assets. So what is the meaning of the translation? Well, research shows 25% of healthcare spending is lost due to poor quality. So let's just think in, also remember those two cases I just gave you. 25% is a huge loss to any organization in that matter. 25% is a huge hemorrhage for your well-being of your organization. So what we can do, of course, actually has to be started now to correct it, because only will show the effect over time. So if you start strategizing your soft losses into organizational level strategies, policies, then you actually are beginning to starting the process of translating soft losses into soft assets. And the outcome will be visible and quantified. Then you will say, now how can I see the soft losses, soft assets? Well, what soft assets we're trying to translate into it? So in addition to what's outlined on the slide here, generally speaking, if you reduce non-quantifiable losses like trust erosion, clinician disengagement, and reputational decay, and so on, you're not only preventing harms to our patient, but also you are capitalizing the latent organizational value, and you're converting invisible leakage or invisible losses into durable operating capacity. So please remember, those were actually unpriced assets with priced consequences. That's why we call them soft assets. So let me conclude this presentation with a very optimistic outlook. And that is organizations that recognize the importance of turning soft losses into soft assets and redesign their governance accordingly, redesign their governance accordingly. We'll be the ones positioned not only to survive, but also to lead in the next decades of healthcare transformation. With that, I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Jack Liu. I wish the Elon Musk had hired him first, and then we wouldn't have the United Healthcare CEO murder. And we can save a lot more money from the medical industry. Thank you, Jack Liu, and in appreciation of your efforts, we would like to give you a certificate of recognition and award.
Yes, we'd like to present this certificate of honor to Dr. Jack Liu, a Distinguished Leadership Award. We have here also a certificate of honor, a letter of appreciation to Dr. Jack Liu, and thank you very much. The doctor is a very nice person. He's a great man, professional. I have the occasion.
Okay, I said I had the occasion to meet him in Boston, and he's a hell of a guy. So he's the first man I met in Boston. We spent New Year's together, and it was a very great moment that we had together. Thank you for the presentation, sir.
Thank you, Jack Liu.
来，等一下，看这里，看这里 Take a picture. ，Yeah,
Iris.
Iris. Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Have you ever heard "awaken the giant in you"? Do you know who says that? Who says that? That's Anthony Robbins. Okay, but this guy, our next speaker, is going to be better than that because he's going to help you awaken the money-making giant in you. Is that interesting? Let's welcome to the stage Dr. Gerald Jean, who spoke about awaken the money-making giant in you.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, wait. Come on. Oh, okay, cool. We're over here. So, let's find over here. Where's the clicker? This one right here? How does it work? Up, down. Oh, yeah, perfect. Hello, everybody. How you doing? My company is called Unleash Your Sales Greatness, and you know, you can't talk about greatness without talking about God. You can't talk about sales without talking about spirituality. So I want to take a moment and say your grace. Because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me tonight. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So my company is Unleash Your Sales Greatness, and we focus on energy, vibration, frequency, and subconscious programming. It's the science of communication. I've been doing it for going on 9 years now. I've had students from BlackRock, Citibank, Citibike, and a few different other corporations. So thank you, Elvis, for having me. My appreciation. And everybody here tonight, I want to take a moment for a round of applause. Everybody get up and give yourself a round of applause. You could have been anywhere else in the world tonight, but you're here tonight. It's never about us. You is always about we. So, it's about the community. So basically, as I mentioned, we are here to help entrepreneurs and business owners and individuals that are just really want to learn to understand the science of how we communicate. And all this technology is, I'm 92 years old, everybody, so bear with me. All this technology stuff is too much over here. Oh, okay, we got it. So, long story short, business is very simple. And it's not easy, but it's simple. All it is a transfer of information and energy. And whatever it is that you're seeking right now lives on a frequency, and if you're not on that frequency, it's much harder for you to obtain it. So it's very important to understand the science of how to obtain success. And no matter what demographic of business you're in, you always see the top players integrate fitness into their schedule. And the simple reason is because your mindset has to get to your destination long before you do. And you have to understand and practice visualization. And through fitness is the first time your subconscious and your mind gets an opportunity to see your strength and weakness. And so, for example, let's say this week I'm benching 150 pounds, and next week I'm benching 175. What happens on a subconscious level is I've grown in 25 pounds of subconscious strength. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So it's very important to understand the science of how our brains communicate and develop. And also keeping a positive mindset. As I mentioned, your mindset has to get to your destination long before you do. So you want to practice active visualization, right? So how often are you practicing visualizing where it is you want to be? As I mentioned, you have to get onto the frequency of where you want to be long before you actually do. And anything that you're chasing, by definition, something is running away. So it's very important to understand how to attract success, and by having your mindset on that frequency. So very important to keep, and it's much easier to keep a positive mindset with fitness in the process, and simply because no matter how tangible you feel you are, energy is always flowing to and through you. So we're pretty much translucent. So energy is always flowing to and through you. So it's very important to get rid of the stress from last week, the stress from yesterday, the stress from a few hours ago, and welcome new blessings. And no matter what the situation may be, sometimes the worst situations put you in the best position of your life. So you want to keep that positive mindset of when you're going through that process. And as I mentioned, all sales is a transfer of information and energy. And so now that I've understood the energy part, how do I get the information out, right? So it's very important to understand, very simply, everybody hates to be sold and loves to buy. So your job is not to convince somebody that your product is the best or your service may be the best, but it's really to understand what their problem is. On an electromagnetic field conversation, we are 6 feet wider, or from a frequency of gratitude as opposed to a frequency of greed. So you always want to make sure when you are doing your business and when you're taking care of your community, you're more service centric than cash centric, right? And then also it's very important to have a script to know what you're gonna say before you say it, because your product or your service might be phenomenal, right? But ultimately, when you get to time to present, no matter how long you've been presenting, we all get nervous. So as I mentioned, all it is a transfer of information and energy. So if I'm nervous about giving you information that I have, or if I'm nervous about asking you for $1 million, anybody got $1 million or you not? Then you're gonna be nervous to give it to me, right? So it's very important to practice the script, because not only does the script help on a subconscious level, just the simple act of writing the script down, seeing the script, it goes into a deeper level on your subconscious level. And not to mention, you can never scale your business properly if you do not have a script in place that makes sure nothing is lost in translation. So it's very important to have the script in place. And ironically enough, once you've programmed the goal into your subconscious mind, it takes a power of its own. So ultimately, 24/7, 365, your subconscious mind is bringing you in environments around people in different places to help that goal be a reality. And the irony of all that is if you're not actively programming your subconscious mind, your environment is doing it for you. So it's very important to, be very purposeful about what it is you do. How do I do this thing? Okay, cool. And then, so now, the next thing is building rapport. As I mentioned, it's very important because everybody hates to be sold and loves to buy. So the key to making sure that you're able to connect with your prospect is building rapport, right? And so basically, what's the 80-20 rule? So the 80-20 rule is basically you want to be listening 80%. You want to practice active listening. Nobody gives a shit, pardon my French, about your service. The question is, how is it going to help my problem, right? And so if you can understand more about how it's going to help the problem by asking the right questions, then they will see you as a problem solver. In fact, everybody that becomes an entrepreneur on a very micro level, you're in the business of problem solving, right? So your job is to really understand what your prospect is looking for. So at the 80% of the time you want to be listening. So 20% of the time you want to be talking. And in those 20% of the time that you're talking, what kind of questions are you asking? Well, you want to be asking questions that begin with who, what, where, how, and which. And the reason why you want to ask these questions is because you want your prospects to think and talk. You want to build a dialogue with your prospect. You don't want to ask them questions that are just going to be yes or no questions. In fact, the second you give your prospect the yes or no questions, chances are they're going to say no, simply because all of us are programmed to have a defensive wall when somebody's trying to sell us something, right? So you want to ask questions that are going to be leading to your solution. And also you want to be very present when you're on the phone or when you're in person, whatever the case may be. Sometimes somebody on the phone may be very energetic. So you don't want to be somebody that on the other line that's not as energetic, right? So you want to match the frequency that's what's coming off the phone or in person. Similar to somebody that might have low energy, right? You don't want to be somebody that's trying to oversell them and they're somebody that's less, energetic than you may be. So you want to be very, aware of how your prospect is emotionally when you're speaking to them, right? And no matter who you are, everybody loves when you remember their names. So no matter what kind of business you may be, it never happens overnight. And I'll show you guys in the next slide about, statistically speaking, how many impressions it takes for business to happen. So you want to remember the people's names in every part of the sales cycle. And also, when you're getting to the nitty-gritty of the deal, and I'm sure everybody has heard of this before, the loudest one in the room is the weakest. So the same psychology goes when you're asking for the money, right? So you don't want to be all excited. You want to be able to, the different parts of the presentation have a very high pitch, and different parts of the presentation have a lower pitch voice. And then also there's the yes rule. So long story short, it's very important to get your prospects and speak to the customers that you're looking to do business with, acquainted and used to saying yes to you. So there are very different ways to go about doing that. And okay, so as I mentioned, there's a statistics, right? So 2% of sales are made on the second. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. So basically, a contact is an email, an in-person, or a call, whatever the case may be. 3% of deals are made on the second contact. 5% of deals are made on the third contact. 10% of deals are made on the fourth contact. 80% of deals are made on the fifth to the 12th contact. So when do you think I'm asking you for the money? Right here. I'm taking your money. No, but it's very important too. So what are you doing between contact 1 through 4, right? You're building rapport. The people want to make sure that their investment to their business or their idea is going to help them get that return on investment. So you want to make sure between contact 1 through 4 that you are doing a presentation that is going to be welcomed by them. And this is very easily found statistics, but most people only make up to 3 contacts when it comes down to reaching out to a business owner, right? And you have to understand, no matter how good your business may be, your idea may be, your product may be, when you're calling on a prospect, you're interrupting whatever they had in their mind before you called. And so it's your job to really paint that picture for them and also be patient through that process. And this is why I mentioned from the beginning, all sales is a transfer of information and energy. So let's say, for example, you have 100 prospects that you're reaching out to. So you really won't start seeing money until you've made at least 500 contacts. So it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of following up for you to do to get to this point. And networking, networking for me is one of my growth hacks. I'm part of a few organizations, but ultimately at the end of the day, with networking, you want to make sure you're going into rooms and places and people that are looking for the kind of information that you can provide, right? And there's also a very strategic strategy when you go into networking. As I mentioned, everybody hates to be sold and loves to buy, so you don't want to be the person at the networking event trying to give your business card out to everybody, but you want to be positioning yourself strategically to get attention, right? You can never be successful if you do not know how to get attention. So your job is to really, at a networking event, is build enough attention for people to want to come and understand and get an understanding of who you are. And as I mentioned, there's tons of different networking events out there that you want to connect with that really helps you leverage your brand. And your network is your net worth. The amount of people that can vouch for you within your network is the amount of people that will call on you when a problem arises. No matter what business you're in, it all comes down, as I mentioned, to problem solving. And so, or LinkedIn, you want to take a lot of time to focus on your LinkedIn. And no matter what it is, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be, the reason why social media is because Joe Blow wants to know what Joe Blow is doing. It's only, people aren't losing their shit. It is what it is, right? So you want to make sure that you're using your LinkedIn to give a presentation of what your prospect or what your customer should expect when they get a chance to meet with you. Again, you can tell somebody that invested in their LinkedIn and you can tell somebody that hasn't. So it's very important. In fact, prospects are 17%, 17% more likely to do business with you if you have a professional headshot. It's just part of your presentation. And also with LinkedIn, you get a chance to see other top professionals in that space that has endorsed an individual. And last, the closing, right? As I mentioned, if I'm scared to ask you for money, you're gonna be scared to give it. And it's very important to be relaxed and clear, and also giving a plan of action. So what is gonna happen when you sign up today? You'll get an email. In that email, step 1, step 2, step 3. I wanna take the time as a professional to build the visual for you, to build the emotional attachment to what's going to happen when you get signed up in our organization today. So, throughout the whole presentation, I'm always going to be assuming the goals, and also as I mentioned, when you're vibrating on a frequency of giving and gratitude, people are more drawn to it as opposed to a frequency of greed. And following up, as I showed you in the sales statistics, it takes a lot of context to make business happen. That's really not easy at all, and it's very important to keep your mindset programmed for that process, for the destination. Entrepreneurship is called a ship because you literally got to get on that vessel and you got to ride those waves. So it's very important to understand the following up part of the process. And again, thank you everybody for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Please stay. Yes. My dear audience, please take a look at who is sitting next to you. Do you know them? Are they a superhero? Now turn to your right. Who is sitting next to you on the right? Maybe they are a guru? Okay, now ask the most important question. Are you going to awaken the giant in you? Are you going to awaken the money-making machine in you? Are you going to become a millionaire or billionaire? You must awaken the giant in you. Unleash your sales giant within you. Okay, let's thank Gerald Jean and for a fabulous lesson and recognition of your efforts.
Yes, we have first the certificate of honor for Distinguished Leadership Award.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And certificate of honor, letter of appreciation.
Thank you.
And finally, letter of appointment by BIBS.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you. Thank you.
Hang on, I'll be next.
Okay. Next up, we have someone who is quite interesting. His story is kind of fairy tale and adventure. When you think of Sicily, you think of the mafia, right? He's from Sicily. Well, we don't know whether he's mafia or not, but he makes his way around the globe, and finally he works for the owner of this building, the Trump Tower. He works for Donald Trump. He was the assistant for Donald Trump. So you want to hear the story? How he turned from a disreputable, place like Sicily and worked across the globe to work for Donald Trump? Okay, let's welcome to the stage Joseph Seniglero.
Wow, thank you very much, guys. Thank you to the speakers before me. Thank you, Elvis, Jason. Thank you to Professor Dr. Liu, Dr. Jean, and Dr. Callum. Dr. Jean before says you have to get yourself known to be famous, to be known, right? To have success. Well, my name is Joseph Seniglero. I welcome you to my house. I used to live upstairs at the 22nd floor. It was my floor, my office for a long time. We took the whole floor when I worked for Donald J. Trump. So this was between Atlantic City, my office, and in Trump Tower. That's where I spent most of my time. But I wanted to say hello to our organizer, who is in Switzerland right now, and Professor Rong. And in our absence, we have Mr. Dr. Newman. He's doing a great job organizing together with Jason and other people here. So We want to thank you, and today we're going to talk about something different. I know those subjects are very, very excited, but a little deep, without a little deep, you know. But at least I learned in Boston how to make my life longer, to live longevity. So I learned that in Boston. As it is a tradition of mine, I'm going to talk about today the media, because I'm a member of the media. I have had so many years, a radio show, television show. I've been an international host. I've been a promoter, bringing singers from Italy, from all over the place. And I used to be the stage manager for the Mamas and the Papas, the association, Gary S. Bond, the Crystal, the Minstrels, and all those great singers. And so we're going to talk about the media, but as it is traditional, you know, common in our business, we have to thank those that do the same job. So I want to thank Dr. E for introducing me to this great world of our Dr. Lee. Stand up. She's a phenomenal individual. And there you go. And also the host, you know, we have a lot of hosts here, like June Shan from the host, she introduced me to the Shanghai Association. Vivian Liu, she's a member of the media, so I have to say she introduced me to many shows. And Annie Yang, she introduced me to this great concert that we just did on Sunday with Dr. Gui. And we have another, Isabella introduced me to the Peace Conference. I did a speech for the World Peace Conference in Queens. And of course, there's so many other around. I'm trying to look around and try to remember. And so now we get down to the business. The business of media is very interesting. But in life, you do what you want to do. All you gotta do is spend the time, be determined, and follow your dream. When I was a kid, when I came from Sicily, I worked in this country 70 hours a week. That's 10 hours a night. You know how much I used to make? $18 a week. $18 for 70 hours. Working from 3 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I was very happy. I learned a trade. I learned how to make bread. I became a baker. But obviously, I didn't want to be a baker all my life. It was hard work. So while I was making bread as I go along and during my high school years, I'm listening to the radio. These famous people that walk around in the community and everybody knows them, everybody respects them, including the guy that is at the Godfather when he dances with the mother of the bride. So I said, well, wow, I said, that's great. You know, the voice was coming out of the radio. He said, one day, I want to be like him. I want to go on the radio. No experience, no knowledge, no degree, nothing. Well, you know, if you put your mind to it, I'm a little bit calabrese, you know, a little bit stubborn. If I put something in my mind, I always have to be the best in what I do. So I got into the radio business one day. I went to Meadowlands, WBNX. You see here, this, what you're looking at right now is when I started with Mr. Trump. That's many, many years, right? This was in about 1990. He owned a hotel on the 42nd Street, Grand Hyatt, and I was introduced to him by Mayor Giuliani and Judge Massaro from the Supreme Court. Started with him, then I campaigned for him. I did the campaign downstairs. We have the office downstairs, so obviously I was in charge of all those rallies. Anybody that wanted to do anything for Trump, they came to me and we worked together. The Chinese Americans, you know, they came, the Alliance, they all came, the Spanish, blacks, from any nationality, they all came from Trump. So this is great. Anyway, I just finished the show. This guy is Bobby Solo. In Italy is the star, rock and roll star, like Elvis Presley. We have a few of them. So we have the show, we do it every year at the theater in Brighton Beach. It's called Millennium Theater. So you can see here we do the host, we do the organization. And of course, I got into I was saying about the WBNX near the Meadowlands, the Shea Stadium, I think, right? No, Shea Stadium. The Meadowlands where they play football. I got there and I met the manager. I said, Mr. Manager, I want to be on the radio. He said, do you have any experience? I said, no, but I'm a quick learner. So we opened the radio, he put the guy next to me, I follow, I listen, and they give me a job. He says, I'm gonna give you a job. But you know what he had to do? He had to take the time away from the #1 radio announcer. God, you know, you're gonna take the time from you, you're gonna kill me, right? Well, anyway, he wanted to try me out. I said, look, I'm a Columbia graduate. I do this, I do that. So I went to Columbia University. Said, this kid is smart, so let's give him a chance. He gave me a chance to go on the radio. And when I got on the radio, the guy that was helping me out doing the tape was Polito Vega. Anybody remember Polito Vega? He's the king of the salsa. 97 point something, right? The king of salsa. The guy used to work for me. He used to do the tapes for me. Incredible. Now today he's the #1 guy on the radio. But anyway, so this is exactly, you know, what happens here. Give me a chance. I started working. In the beginning, I didn't make any money. But then I walk in, I'll go to the community, and they started know my name, and they started, they want to talk to me. So from the radio job on a Sunday, I got a radio job on a Saturday. From a Saturday, I got Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So basically, I'm doing a lot of radio shows, and little by little, everybody wants me. From the radio, you go to advertisement. Then you go to hosting. Everybody wanted, you present the singers. You go to the theater. So basically, you have a good opportunity to do more. So it's radio, announcer. Then I became my own director. Then I became my own producer. I had enough money to produce my own show. So I went from radio, and then I went to television. It's a normal, normal procedure to go from radio to television. Well, let me tell you, it's a great job. It's very rewarding because I got to meet a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of people and interview a lot of people. I had dinner with President Bush. How? The professor of the university was my law professor. So he invited me and we had dinner with President Bush. I was with Clinton, Hillary, and Bill at the American Hotel. Now it's called the Sheraton Hotel on 7th Avenue, 52nd. I had dinner with Italian presidents. Right over here next door, there is a hotel, I forgot the name of it, but it's a couple blocks down. And St. Regis Hotel, right? Regis Hotel. So I met President Napolitano. Then I had dinner with another president at Waldorf Astoria, President Scalfaro. Then I had dinner with President Cossiga at Columbia University, my alma mater. And of course, they were both graduated law school with Jun Shun, which graduated Hofstra Law. I did it in 2 years, though. I graduated with the governor, David Patterson. And at Columbia, before me, after me, it was President Obama. He graduated about 3 years after me. So basically, the knowledge is there. But if you want to do something, you got to do it. So I followed the radio. I followed one radio after another. Then I went to this business. Like I said, you get to present a lot of shows, and then they pay you. And then everybody want to pay you for the advertising. That's how you make, it's a very rewarding experience. And I like that. So I enjoy it. I want you to guys think about it. You have any other pictures? Maybe we could show any other pictures. I want you guys to think about it, that nothing is impossible. I could speak English. I didn't know anything. I just came from Sicily. They put me in Chinatown. First language I speak is Cantonese. All my friends were Chinese. So basically, how bad could that be? After so many years, you realize you're learning out the language. I was supposed to go study. I got a scholarship from Columbia to go study in Moscow, Leningrad, and Kiev. I went up studying in Rome and Paris. So you learn French, you learn Russian, you gotta learn Spanish. It's a very good experience. But the radio gives you a lot of opportunity. The radio really makes you. Anything else? No, I can't find anything else. Okay. That's my business card, Trump, yeah. Right? Anyway, so basically, this is the way you do it. You put an idea down, no matter what it is. If you want to be in the radio business, you want to be television, you want to be professor, you want to be a doctor, you do it. At one point, I wanted to be a doctor. But Columbia was so competitive, they were changing the name, switching the names. When I put the lab, I said, hold on, I'm not going to get into this. Let me get to something easy. So I got involved in politics, in law, media, communication. So it's more fun, right? It's a lot more fun. So guys, enjoy yourself. It's we could talk. If there's other pictures, I'll give you some. No more. Okay, that's good enough. I want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to follow your dream. And we are here having many speakers, of course. Some of them are heavy subjects, some of them are light. And I want to say hello to my friend William. Right, William? Next, William is a very important guy. In March 1st, there's going to be the fashion show in Paris. So I probably want to buy some fashion study. Okay, we have a very important people coming up, like this gentleman over here. He's going to make a speech maybe later. But we stop right here. Thank you very much. God bless you. And may God be with you.
Thank you, Joseph. So, Joseph's got a positive attitude because I know some people don't like Donald Trump, some people hate him, some people like him very much. So, whatever it is the case, he's our president for now, another 3 years. So, you might as well follow what he's trying to do because the economy, the world politics, and everything happening in the world is being stirred by our president, Donald Trump. So, you better follow, better learn, predict what he's going to do. So, maybe you come into power with President Donald Trump, just like our Joseph, he never expected to come from Sicily to become working for Trump's headquarters.
But Elvis,
we never know.
Elvis, I want you to know that as a media person, you're always neutral. I have an interview, I have a campaign for Republican, Democrats, any kind of person. So I am friends with all. And that's the beauty of it. Of course, you have your own preference. If I get a job with Trump, you're not going to say, no, I'm not going to take it. Right, Julia? We're going to take a job with Trump.
So he's a living example that is not so scary to work with Donald Trump. Also, he comes out safe.
I love him.
Okay, in appreciation of your efforts and contribution tonight, we would like to give you some awards of recognition.
From BIBS and Certificate of Honor as Distinguished Leadership Award, Certificate of Honor, Letter of Appreciation, finally, Letter of Appointment at BIBS.
Thank you. I will be a professor, yes, at Boston University. I want to thank our camera people there, Vivian, Frank, and Star TV. I want to thank you all for coming. Be energetic, and keep your dreams, okay? Dr. Jean, thank you very much. And thanks to you and to my colleague, Dr. Yi, all right? Thank you, Doctor. I'll share this with you. I'll share them with you.
One more picture. Sorry. One more picture.
Okay. Yeah, it's up.
Moment. Paris, look here. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next up, we have someone who's very interesting, who's like a time traveler and a space traveler. He traveled back to ancient history and collect artifacts. Collect things that were common to those people, but it's very hard for us to understand. With these ancient items, he brings history to life. He let us know that Confucius once existed and was a real person. He let us know that Sun Tzu was also a living person. We have his display of ancient artifacts and items. These are easily worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And it's his personal collection. Today, we're going to witness the beauty of the Chinese ancient culture and what happens when East meets West. Let's welcome Dr. Master Jeff Ye, who is a curator and collector of ancient antiques. But first, we will play a video so to let you know the scope of his collections and we can understand him better. Hold on, let's get my assistant. Let's say. Oh. We will now play a video and you can enjoy the grandeur and beauty of these ancient artifacts.
40 seconds left. In the silver.
Hello everyone, it's a great pleasure to finally meet you all, and today I brought some special items from my personal collection, from my world of treasures, to share with you. The reason I enjoy collecting is because I particularly love studying history. My purpose in studying history is to better understand politics and the world. And the pursuit of understanding politics is to solve economic problems. Solving economic problems also helps us better understand society. Throughout this journey, I've cultivated a very deep interest in ancient historical art, particularly those pieces from high antiquity. I've also dedicated 3 decades to its study. Furthermore, I actively collect these works and I'm deeply involved in their research and conservation. If we were to lighten the act of collecting to emperor, then the emperor's magnificent outer robe would be Chinese porcelain, especially the ancient high-five pieces. The emperor's very dragon body, that would be the exquisite ancient jade. And if we speak of the emperor's royal crown, that would be the ancient glazeware. And the most brilliant sparkling pearl adorning that crown, that is China's ancient bronzeware. Why is porcelain its outer garment? Because porcelain is China's national treasure. It embodies intention, non-intention, the master's will, the spirit of temperament. So its spiritual essence is condensed in the form. If we speak of Yi, the spirit, this temperament, it is an essence, a refined essence that originates from the natural world itself. Therefore, it requires human beings to gently nurture and cultivate it, and in return, this Yi then nourishes and enriches the individual. The ancient saying, a gentleman's virtue is akin to Yi, perfectly illustrates the gentle, the reserved, and the humble qualities inherent in Yi. This also profoundly reflects a unique humanistic temperament deeply embedded within the Chinese nation. Liu represents the crystallization of China's science and technology from 2,000 years ago. Why? 2,000 years ago, during the warring states and Han dynasties, China was already producing very exquisite glass in various colors such as sapphire blue, ruby red, and amber yellow. After this material was produced, it was then processed and carved into the most exquisite and diverse technical vessel shape characteristic of the warring states and Han dynasties. And these colors, when compared to the genuine natural sapphire blue, show almost no discernible difference at all. So, over 2,000 years ago, China's technology reached this level, and frankly, even today, it hasn't really advanced much. So, this Liu also carries a strong religious connotation. Because the Bible also states that God bestowed upon humanity 2 significant things. One of them was gold, and the other was lapis lazuli. Therefore, I liken this lapis lazuli to the majestic crown of an emperor. That is to embody his status. What truly shines brightest in the crown of our emperors, it is without a doubt bronze artifacts, especially the ancient high antiquity bronze wares of China. This is because from the late Shang dynasty onwards, these bronze vessels meticulously documented the historical events of the entire Chinese civilization, encompassing its humanities, social structures, and technological advancements, as well as its continuous evolution and progress. Therefore, it served as undeniable and conclusive evidence, and its intricate inscriptions meticulously outline the distinctive characteristics of China's very earliest written language, along with significant historical events and various profound societal transformations. Therefore, this bronze vessel truly symbolizes the absolute highest level of attainment. So, based on the 4 sections we've just discussed, this truly embodies China's magnificent, epic history, showcasing to the world its brilliant civilization that spans several millennia. Usually late at night, under the lights, when I'm just gazing at an ancient artifact, an item from 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, I'm truly overwhelmed with a flood of emotions. Wow, how am I so fortunate to be able to possess this today, to feel its thousands of years of history. The settling of time, the grace of years. Similarly, when the future reaches the hands of someone famous who truly loves and understands it. So, collecting this ancient art, especially what we call archaic art, provides us with a profound spiritual anchor, a deep connection for our souls. And with this passion we hold for it, we journey from today into tomorrow and far into the future for 100 years, even 1,000 years.
Thank you.
So today, he's a living museum because he brought with him all his collections. There's an exhibitor lounge where you can witness even more items over there. The exhibitor lounge. Yes, later on. And he's going to teach us a little bit because all these were very, very ancient artifacts that signifies the Chinese dynasties from thousands of years ago. So it brings back to life the history and from the focus of how people lived, how they used their stuff, their creation of the Chinese civilization. So if you're into culture and ancient items, that's a bewildering experience. He collected all these items with his whole lifespan, and then he's now willing to exhibit and showcase. And you can also sign up to be his fans club email later on with him. So we will now explain a little bit of what he has to say.
好，谢谢，我是要翻译，谢谢，我就说3句话。
I will just say 3 sentences to be short and make it simple.
OK， 第一句话就说，尽管这些顶级的这个艺术品，他们说有绘画，但是呢，实际上呢，做仿制的话呢是一个伪命题。
All these top artifacts can be fabricated, can be manufactured. But to someone who is a real collector and real art appreciator, that is a big question in itself. That is not existent.
因为这个世界不可创作，还有不可逆转。
Because real art and real artifacts are irreversible. You cannot create good art with fake art and fake intentions.
因此，它绝对不可再生和不可复制。
So whatever is original, whatever carries a meaning and symbolize civilization understanding of art and culture is non-replaceable, irreproducible, and cannot be fake.
OK， 第二句话就是说，先问大家这个是什么，有多少年的历史
Let's give a quiz. How many years do you think this is?
500年。
Some say it's 500.
OK， Tang Dynasty
It's from Tang Dynasty, which is about
1300年。
about 1,300 years ago. Something as simple as this. Right. It's really beautiful. It shows you the art, the bustling culture that was existed at the height of the civilization.
OK， 中国的古董艺器，还有琉璃，还有这个还有它的瓷器，它的价值，它不光有艺术价值，而且它有历史价值，它有考古价值，还有科技价值，还有文化内涵，还有可以把玩，甚至可以使用。如果当代的艺术呢，仅仅具有艺术价值。
All these artifacts, they have the value of history. They showcase how people lived before. They are a reflection of life, and they show you the creativity of the people that existed at the time. It's a technological marvel from ancient world. It's the art from the ancient world. So when you compare it to the modern world, it's very different. It has a lot more deeper meanings than you can grasp.
另外告诉大家一个很有趣的问题，真正的顶级的古董，他去找他的主人，而不是主人来找他。
He has something interesting to say to you. When a top-notch antique or artifact, it tries to look for its owner instead of the other way. When you go look for an artifact or artifact and possess it, it's not the case because you would, like a fool's money, you easily lose your money. When you are a real collector and appreciator of ancient arts and artifacts, the artifact will somehow come its way to you, into your possession, because it's like someone who knows who admire them best. So these artifacts or ancient items will finally somehow come to the real owner. That's you.
OK， 下来第二句话就是， 大家想知道怎么样鉴定还有收藏古董吗？其实就6个字，一个是足够美。
There were 6 elements of how you can really evaluate an item of ancient artifact and value. These 6 criteria are
OK， 足够美，足够老。
first, beautiful, splendidly beautiful enough, and second, old enough.
OK， 第3句话就是，我们对我们的古董的要求就是，因为让它自己说话。
The requirements for the artifact is for it to somehow convey its own story, for it to speak up to you as though from the millennium.
好，紧接着最后一个问题，大家看这是什么呢
And the last question, everybody take a look. What is this?
？OK， 这个就是传说中的舍利子。
Oh, this is a legendary Buddha's seat. When some high-ranking monk died, their body burned, they will leave some residue like this. So this is very energetic pellets.
它非常神奇。有些问题我们没法解释，它会自动增长的，数量会增长。
It's a miracle because those things they will grow in numbers. When you keep them in a container, there are many. They will grow in numbers. When you have 1 or 2, they will grow into a group of these pellets.
按照我的猜测，可能它是处于一种不同的维度，它是存在的，但是只是我们看不见。
So it possibly exists in a different dimension where you can see it, but it will slowly grow into many, like life energy. You know, it will be just more pellets, Buddha's pellets.
而且它的能量非常非常的高。
It's very high energy.
Okay, the last one. 我很想问一下，在座的有没有人懂中国的瓷器的收藏的
Does anybody know about the collection for this kind of porcelain?
？OK， 如果懂得中国的瓷器的话呢，这个是你们从来没见过的，
It's something very different.
而且所有的博物馆也没有。
It's not found in all of the museums.
OK， 这个是传说中的这个鲁官窑。
It's a legendary lost art of porcelain.
OK， 如果按照我们对它的估计的话呢，大概就是3000万美金。
This is $30 million US. $30 million US dollars. This piece.
距离现在有1000年，
It's about 1,000 years ago.
看起来像新的一样。
It looks totally new and brand new.
Thank you.
So be careful when you walk around this area. Don't touch it.
OK， 等一下，如果大家有兴趣，可以欢迎大家来参观，谢谢。
Yeah, you're welcome to the exhibitor's lounge where you can meet him and discuss more questions and see more items. Thank you. Next up, we have someone who is very valuable to us. He will help save our brains. He's going to talk about FSH and Alzheimer's disease, how to prevent it, because most of us will have some relatives, friends or family with this kind of disease. He will help us prevent it, and how to help remediate, how to help remediate and reduce. Let's welcome Dr. Tony Yuan to the stage. Thank you very much. Oh, and we have to, the appreciation of Jeff Yes' efforts at the exhibition. We'll give him an award of recognition.
Yes, we have 3 certificates. First certificate of honor, Distinguished Leadership Award. And certificate of honor, letter of appreciation. And finally, letter of appointment by BIBS.
Thank you, Curator Jeff Ye.
This way, please. This way, this way. One more. Good, thank you.
Okay, please join Curator Jeff Yes at the exhibitor lounge later on. Thank you. Now we have our fabulous Dr. Tony Yuan, who will help save our brains save the lives of our relatives and friends who have FSH and Alzheimer's disease. Let's welcome to the stage Dr. Tony Yuan.
First, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizing committee for the kind invitation to this great symposium. I learned a lot. And today I will I'm going to spend about 10 minutes, okay? I know it's a long night. I will try to be short. So I'm going to talk about our work condensed in 10 minutes, actually over 20 years of work on the development of a therapeutic for aging disorders, including Alzheimer's disease. The drug is an antibody blocking the action of a reproductive hormone called FSH. So Alzheimer's disease is a crippling disorder predominantly affecting older women. So women has a very high incidence of Alzheimer's disease. 2 out of 3 Alzheimer's disease patients are women. And in addition, they have a higher risk, lifetime risk, getting Alzheimer's disease. And they are also having a faster disease progression as well as a more severe symptom burden. So for a long time, people try to attribute this difference, men and women, to loss of estrogen after menopause. So after menopause, the ovarian function fails, estrogen output is very low. And so multiple clinical studies suggest that estrogen might not be the cause, because in some studies, estrogen replacement therapy in postmenopausal women help improve memory in these women. But some studies shows no effect, and even worse, a few shows that women getting estrogen replacement get worse memory. So these studies are not very consistent. So we think out of the box. So and a reproductive hormone, FSH, is actually upstream of estrogen. And after menopause, estrogen loss leads to a high elevated FSH, as you can see on the right side. And so we're thinking, how about FSH? Could it be a targetable, could be a target for a drug that can improve Alzheimer's disease? Now, first, we actually identify receptors in the brain for FSH, and they are present in the hippocampus, in neurons in the hippocampus. The hippocampus is a brain area that is responsible for memory functions. So we showed in this study, in the mouse brain as well as in human brain, the receptor for FSH is present in the hippocampus. Next, we perform animal studies, injecting. So if we take out FSH receptor in the brain, we show an improvement of memory in the mouse. These are behavioral testing, and if we do genetic knockout, the knockout animal without FSH receptor in the brain, they perform much better compared to the wild type. And so we are thinking of how can we help Alzheimer's disease patients? Can we block the action of FSH? Because FSH seems to be the culprit of Alzheimer's disease. So we generated a monoclonal antibody to block FSH action. And this is a crystal structure showing that FSH antibody actually has high affinity to bind to the ligand FSH. And in a all right, okay. Where's the mouse? Can you help me? Run the top one. Thank you. So what we use is two attributes of memory. One is spatial memory. Alzheimer's disease patients lose spatial memory, and the bottom one. And so if you leave someone with AD on the street, they will have problem getting back home because they lost the spatial memory. And in this test, we put a mouse in the water tank, and over time they get trained to find a hidden platform that they cannot see. So mice, they can swim, but they don't like to swim. And if you put a mouse with good memory, they will find the platform very early, with 10 seconds or 15 seconds. The animal up in the top panel, they lost memory, and you see that he's trying to find the platform and never found it. And so this is one of the testing that we performed in the lab to show that injection of the antibody, which is the lower panel, helps Alzheimer's mice to recover the memory. On the left side, this is a recognition test. So Alzheimer's disease patients also lose recognition memory, meaning that they do not recognize, for example, their relatives, their children, they don't recognize them. So how do we ask the animal, do you recognize someone? So in this case, we use a behavioral test where we put two identical objects in an arena and put a mouse in the arena. A good animal will, or mouse being very curious, they will explore and look at these objects. Okay, we give them time, 10 minutes, to acquire the object. Okay, and then a few hours later or a day later, we can do different testing. We put the same animal into the same arena, but replacing one of the identical objects with a new object. So an animal who has good memory will remember, I have already seen this shape. The animal will explore the new object more time. So this is one way that we can test whether the animal has good recognition memory. And injection of our FSH blocking antibody improve also the recognition memory. And being a reproductive hormone, FSH blockade actually in our hands do not the blockade has absolutely no effect on reproductive function in the mouse at least. And in terms of pharmacokinetics, we found that the half-life of these antibodies in the bloodstream is about 2 weeks. So meaning that if we do injections every month or even every 2 months, there should be enough antibody for the action. In terms of pharmacodynamics, indeed, the FSH antibody binds to FSH. So in blue, in green, this is the free FSH in the blood. And injection of 100 micrograms of this antibody absorb all the free FSH, and these are all bound. Total remain the same. Indeed, there's this distribution to the brain. Although small, it does go into the brain. But we don't actually need the antibody getting into the brain because you can take out FSH in the circulation. And in a couple of minutes, it also goes to adipose tissue, fat, as well as the skeleton, bone. In terms of safety study, is the antibody safe? We used monkeys for this study. So injection of FSH antibody in the monkey over 5 months. Each month we give them 1 injection. Over 5 months, in this slide, I'm showing you the vitals, heart rate, blood oxygen, body temperature, they're all within the normal range. In terms of biochemistry, all the biochemistry are within normal limits, as you can see from within the gray zone. Here, this is the result of the blood count. They are all within the normal range. So this is a antibody that is safe in monkeys. And in addition to Alzheimer's disease, women also suffer 2 other disorders postmenopausal. So women after menopause lose a lot of bone. And also the menopause is it also coincides with the onset of obesity. So we're thinking, how about can we use the antibody for these 2 other items, obesity and osteoporosis? Indeed, if you look at the estrogen level, estrogen, again, in this perimenopausal period, they are within the normal range, but FSH is rising. There is a very dramatic loss of memory during this period of time in women. There's a lot of bone loss also coincide with the perimenopause, as well as obesity, weight gain. So we think, oh, could it also help osteoporosis and obesity after menopause? And so we perform studies in the mouse using the same water-maze test, as well as we will measure fat mass and bone mass. So I already showed you the memory, but here we're showing you that fat mass after injection of 100 micrograms of the FSH antibody, you can see that there's dramatic loss of fat mass as well as body weight. The bone density also dramatically improved in this animal model. So all these work, thanks to the scientific community, we get a lot of coverage. Nature Medicine named our study as one of the 8 notable advances in biomedicine in 2017, and New York Times talked about it, and Nature also talked about our brain work. So in summary, this is over 20 years of work. We now have a candidate that can be used for 3 human aging disorders: osteoporosis, obesity, as well as Alzheimer's disease. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Tony Yuen. Let me have a raise of hand who's listening to his speech. Please raise your hands. Okay, good. Let me, please raise your hand if you have been listening from the start to now. Okay, those who raise their hands once will be millionaires. Those that raise hands twice will be billionaires. Thank you for participating. Participating is everything.
All right,
Dr. Tony Yuen, to appreciate your contribution tonight and for your work in medicine, we would like to give you awards and certification.
We have some certificate of appreciation for Dr. Tony Yuen. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was great. Distinguished Leadership Award. Next one is Certificate of Honor, Letter of Appreciation to Dr. Tony Yuen. And of course, we have the last one, a Letter of Appointment. So he's now officially a professor. Thank you very much.
Okay, look here.
Thank you very much.
Here. This way. Here.
I guess me with Dr. Jack Liu and Dr. Yuen, we're going to be teaching in Boston soon.
Okay.
But I want to stay here.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Back to our friend, our director here, Elvis Newman. He's going to introduce the next one. Your phone. Was that your phone? Anybody's phone?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being so patient and not checking your text, not checking your email, and pay attention and try to take part in the intellectual dialogue. With you, we are honored because with you, it makes our success. And we hope we can be part of your success. I hope you learn something tonight and be able to use it in life, and may you grow stronger, bigger in anything, career, business, and awaken the giant in you. Awaken the superhero in you. Go out, make money, make a good career, make a good business, benefit the humanity, and benefit everybody, and pass the goodness all around. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause for coming tonight.
Thank you so much, everybody, for attending tonight's event. Please welcome all the speakers for the dinner in the back. Thank you so much.
And also, please give a round of applause for our speakers tonight. Everybody in the first row.
Thank you for the speakers. Thank you for coming, guys, and follow us. And we're going to be here on the next speaker, which will be a month from now, maybe.
Right now, we have breakout sessions. We have EB5 seminar, which will be in the breakout room over there. If you're coming for EB5, there are 2 lawyers who can talk to you about EB5. So it will be private information and a private assessment. So it will be in the breakout room, EB5 room. And then for our speakers, you're welcome to go to the speakers lounge for dinner. And network with the other speakers. Dinner is prepared for you. For those of you who who have bought tickets for dinner with the speakers, you're welcome to join the speakers in the speakers lounge. And also we have the exhibitors lounge where curator Jeff Ye will show you his antiques and artifacts from ancient world. You're welcome to join him over at the exhibitor lounge. Thank you all so much for making this night a very successful night, climax after climax, and for the fact that you were sitting on the chair and not move and paying attention. Thank you all for that. And we'll see you February 19th at the next event. Thank you all. Thank you very much for making tonight a big success.
Happy Valentine's is coming, so don't forget the chocolate and the flower. Exchange your phones there. That's a nice. We're going to do networking now. Thank you very much for coming. Good night.
Okay, hold on. All the speakers take a photo together.
And all the speakers, please come to the stage to take a photo, please. Can all the speakers come to the stage to take a photo? Okay, Can all the speakers please come to the stage to take a group photo, please? Jerody Jean, please come to the stage. On the stage. Yeah, all the speakers. Ted, please come to the stage.
Jeff,
please come to the stage.
All the speakers, come up.
Gotta go this way, please. Somebody.
You on this side and you on the other side.
Yeah, close to the middle, please. Okay.
Okay, so
yes. One more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 2. One more. Yeah. One more. Okay, 1, 2. One more. Good. Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Jack, this is Myrna. This is Myrna. She's president of our company.
Okay, thank you.
对老年时代，这个我们这个药物现在在
都坐下来，都坐下来，我要看 FDA 谈。来，都坐下来，坐下来。你还放吗？
会放就是需要我没有那个，还是对，我们现在大概，
哎，
对，但是大部分的工作已经做完，我们只是交给
Yes, sir.
我们现在
把声音放出来啊！
我们在3番
And also, good morning. I'm Jin Zhao. I'm very happy to be here representing Boston University School along with Gloria. And it has been a great experience in Davos. When we first came here, the first day, our focus is on women leadership. We were very fortunate to attend the Middle East Forbes Women's Panel Discussion with women leaders from one family, from global Fortune 500 companies like Merck CEO. The message for women through that panel is to be confident, to put your power into execution, and to deliver by results. The next day, we went to the center of the Davos, what's happening, and there are a lot of major Fortune 500 companies, such as Meta, LinkedIn, Microsoft, and Deloitte, and all these companies having different sessions about company strategy, AI implementation, and also a lot of discussion on the next generation of, see the future in 5 years. Everybody talk about how do you see, not even 10 years. In 5 years, what do you see where we are? Everybody is, a lot of other major speakers focusing on in 5 years what we see, not in what we expect today. That's why the decision we make today as stakeholders needs to be very cautious and very intentional with good intention. This trip is also women's leadership has been my focus. I have been working on women's leadership globally for the last 20 years. And also my foundation, Foundation has been a big program. So here I also visited the India Women's Entrepreneurship Program, which is very inspiring. And also at the discussion about women playing a role in politics, foreign policy, with the former Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. That was a major highlight of my trip. I was able to speak with him, take a picture with him, and there are so many fans surrounding him after the discussion because he is the leader that actually did make very intentional efforts to put women in the positions. So yesterday I had a great experience with LinkedIn, which is a very good marketing tool for professional people. And their launch, shoot a video for you, make a card for you. It's very good marketing. So what they're doing is like attract a lot of visitors to their LinkedIn launch. And with hot chocolate and a nice card that had a LinkedIn barcode there, you can just and argument to build connection. One thing I want to emphasize yesterday is I am very proud to be American, attending most of the sessions at the USA House, which is located at a very, very beautiful historical church. The inside, it's very beautiful as well. It's a packed house. There's always such a long line. I did stay in line to get in, but I was there. So during the American USA session, it's mostly, yesterday was mostly AI side. So we have AI from, AI executives from Microsoft, from several major corporations, and also the one person I want to emphasize is the executive team from Mohammed Said University of Artificial Intelligence from Hong Kong. And he shared his principle and belief in building education for the next generation, for the future of humankind, even though as of today we don't know exactly what that future looks like. But he's building a university that have a platform and architecture and foundation to continuously generate good courses, good content, and curriculums for students, constantly evolving, innovating, building. So they are very focused on research, curriculum, and new way of learning from their university. So he received a very, very good feedback from the audience, and I was able to talk to him briefly after the talk. And I do think his principle of education very in line with Boston International Business School. Like the 5 major principles we are building our students is to provide them not just with the regular business school knowledge, but also have AI, engineering, and also investment, and also socially responsible, and also practical skills to be able to survive and thrive in this So that's pretty much a lot of the things I experienced at today's last few days. And also yesterday evening, I was invited to attend a very exclusive event with very high-profile investors from the Fund Association from Hong Kong. I have a lot of friends there, and they're talking about investment strategy, future trends, and how to do investment through global partnership and building their like Davos. And also I had discussion with the United Nations Global Compact in UNESCO about events in March, about the CSW Women's event. And so, overall I want to say Davos is not just a thought-provoking field to experience all kinds of great speakers, great thought leaders, executives, UN officials, and but it's also not just first of all I would see it's a thought leadership to experience all those great ideas, new thoughts, discussions, inspiring quotes, all of that can last for a long time. Secondly is to be able to network with all those people who have aligned vision with you and can build future collaborations together. Thirdly, it's such a beautiful city here, very beautiful, it's beautiful, the mountains, the snows, everything. And the food, everything is a great experience to be in the same little town. So beautiful, every single view is like a picture, like a beautiful picture, with all the nice people and all the great, to learn from. So I tremendously enjoyed it, and I feel very grateful to be able to partner with Boston International Business School for this wonderful trip. Thank you. Good morning.